So this is another game I recently found thanks to some Japanese news websites, and no, I don't know why they talk about indie horror games either, but I'm glad they do. Haison Meguri, which can be roughly translated to tour or trip around an abandoned village, does just what it says in the title. It's billed as a first-person walking simulator, and again, that's exactly what it does. But is it worth checking out? And why? Let's take a look. First things first, this game is currently only available in Japanese. Now, this means that, yes, you'll miss out on what story there is if you can't read Japanese, but it's still playable otherwise. As I said, it's a walking simulator. There's not a lot of text happening anyway, other than the introduction to the game that sets things up and then a few notes you can find around the place that try to explain why the village is abandoned. I'll actually be doing a full story video very soon, however, so feel free to check that out if you want to know more. It's quite interesting. Anyway, the game starts with a large text wall informing us that we, the player, got a message from our old friend Yui the other day, asking us to go and take some ghost photos next Saturday. Back in our school days, we always used to tell each other scary stories and such, and it turns out that we, the player, can see ghosts as well. Just a little. Of course, we don't really want to go because nothing good ever comes from messing with ghosts, but Yui is quite insistent, and in the end, we relent and agree to drive. The game then switches to a scene of us in the car and it's revealed that the main character's name is Kaori. We also get a little more information on this ghost spot we're heading to. It's an abandoned village where someone was apparently once sacrificed. Supposedly, this was done to avoid the river flooding and destroying everything. But now the spirit of that ghost still lingers in the village and tries to take people with her to the other side. Apparently, numerous people in that village took their own lives and this was blamed on the spirit. The two friends have a bit of a back and forth about how they won't go anywhere Kaori doesn't feel comfortable, and Yui insists they're just going to take a few pictures and then leave, so they'll be fine. She's a pro after all, taking after her uncle, who has won awards for his photography. Yui, it seems, really loves her uncle and spoke about him a lot when they were younger. When they arrive at the village, Yui heads out first while Kaori locks the car. And here, finally, we're in the game. It starts with a neat little jump scare, and then naturally, Yui disappears, and things very much don't seem right with this abandoned village. The objective of the game, from this point on, is to find Yui. That's it. As the game states, it's a walking simulator, so you walk around the village and explore every nook and cranny, trying to find Yui and solving a few very simple puzzles, if you can even call them that, to keep moving. If you're the type of person that loves horror games but doesn't especially love playing them, then this is probably the perfect game for you. You can't die in this. You simply can't. Nothing will attack you and there's no possible way to die. It's a walking simulator. You walk around. That's it. This game exists so that you can enjoy the atmosphere of a strange, creepy, and abandoned village, and there's no denying that it does that quite well. It was made with the Unity engine, and it invokes a somewhat PS2 style aesthetic that really works for it. This isn't the prettiest game you've ever seen, no, but that's not what it's going for. It's dark, literally. It's moody. It's empty. And it wants you to feel like you're back in the Showa era, a very different time to now. This isn't a game where you have to use your wits and your skills to fight or escape from ghosts. The game, which is dark on purpose, wants you to sit in a dark room, put on some headphones and just soak in the atmosphere. You're alone in an abandoned village. You've lost your friend and something is clearly wrong here. Floorboards creak loudly as you walk across them. Trees rustle and frog croaks break the silence. You have to dig through old, drafty houses to find ways to proceed through this tiny abandoned village and find where your friend has gone. But you, being able to see spirits, soon realize that you're not quite as alone as you thought. There's no real action taking place here, no, but The game does try to throw a few scares your way, and interestingly, you can easily miss many of them. There are moments, for example, like when you're in the first house and walking across the creaking floor when the doorbell suddenly rings. Naturally, you're all alone, so who on earth could be ringing the doorbell? If you rush over there, then you won't see anything. Creepy. But if you look at it from another angle, and I just lucked onto this in one of my subsequent playthroughs, then you can see something far, far more terrifying. That's a big no from me, man. Now, the game isn't very long. Your first playthrough, if you check every single little thing you can, will take maybe 20 to 30 minutes at most. But the game comes with 3 different endings, meaning that if you want to see them all, then you'll have around an hour of playtime ahead of you. I haven't seen any guides for how to get the specific endings yet, but if you're interested, here's how you can get them. Naturally, some spoilers here, so if you'd rather figure it out on your own, feel free to jump ahead. The key to the endings lies in the wooden dolls that look like Jizo statues that you can find around the village, as well as the various notes. To get bad ending 1, simply rush through the game without collecting all 3 statues. You can collect 1 or 2, doesn't matter, but not all 3. Easy. To get bad ending 2, you need to collect all 3 statues, but not the notes. Then you place the statues in the small shrine at the end, and it will trigger the second, but still bad, ending. To get the good ending, then naturally you need to collect all 3 statues and all 5 notes. Place the statues in the small shrine at the end and you're good to go. That's it. There actually isn't much of a difference between the second bad ending and the good ending, but the bad ending is a little more ominous. And that's it. Walk around the village, find the statues and notes that reveal what's going on in the village, or don't, it's up to you. Enjoy a few jump scares and generally just take in the atmosphere. It's a walking simulator and doesn't pretend to be anything else. You get a really cool atmosphere and a neat little story along the way. Hard to argue with the $2 it cost me when I bought it. Is it worth playing even if you don't speak Japanese? I think so, although obviously you'll be missing the story aspect of it. Again, as I said earlier, I'll be doing a story video soon, so feel free to check that out if you want to know what's going on. But if you just want to walk around the village and enjoy some spooks, then it's a fine way to spend 30 minutes or so. I noticed that the developer also has another game in much the same vein, so I'll no doubt be checking that one out soon too. Keep an eye out. And that is Haison Meguri. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. And if you have already played it, or if you're going to after this, then let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.